everyone. We have received your questions. We know it's probably been a little bit over a week, but we have been crazy with painting furniture. My husband's worked a lot of overtime. So I have them all right here on my email. So we're just going to dig in. I'm going to read the question and then we will answer it. Okay, ready?
Ready.
Oh, this is for me. What are some tips? What are some tips you have to becoming a housewife? Well, I have to tell you, when we were engaged, I was 17 years old, and I would have to say it was not happy news. Not happy news for our family. I was still in high school when we got engaged. So I don't like to be told that I can't do something. So I went ahead and read all kinds of books about how to get organized, how to grocery shop, how to plan meals. And I think if you go into it kind of, it's going to be your life, it's not going to be something else. You know, I wanted to make sure I was going to be the best wife I could be.
It was your job.
It was my job, exactly. And that's kind of how I looked at it. I wanted to be the best I could be at this job. And to be perfectly honest, and I don't want any nasty comments about this, he really is the head of our household. We try to live a biblical marriage.
Right.
And I'm submissive. I know my friends aren't going to believe that. But we pretty much will discuss something, but when it comes down to it, he has the final say. He does the finances. He's the one that works outside the home. And that's just how we've always lived our life.
And
so
this worked great.
Yeah, works great for you.
No, it worked great.
No, we all have always had the same priorities. We knew what our priorities were before we got into marriage. We kind of talked about it all, and we've always been on the same page, which has really helped us. So let's go to the next question. Well, this is a long one. What are your plans now that you are empty nesters?
That's still in the planning phase.
Well, our son still lives at home, so we're not technically empty nesters, but really, I would say he sleeps here, and occasionally he stops by to eat. But we would like to travel. You know, we both need new cars.
There's still projects to do around the
Yeah.
house, get caught up with stuff that was left unfinished for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, those are to spend as much time as possible, I guess, and have him lavish me with attention would be nice.
That's tough.
You both are young and seem to really enjoy each other's company.
I'd say so.
Do you have any vacations planned?
We're kind of last of the minute type people.
He's last minute. I'm
we
not so much.
Come up with an idea and plan it within a couple weeks and let's go type thing. So right at the moment, we don't have a ton planned, but we just came off a cruise
Yes.
a few
which
months
was
back,
nice.
7-day cruise, and you know, we're definitely looking to do stuff this year also, just not exactly sure 100%.
Well, we're probably going to go to Disney at Christmas with our family. It's kind of been a tradition to go to the Very Merry Christmas Party. I want to go to Savannah, Georgia. That is one of my dreams. I would really just like to get out of Florida, to be perfectly honest. So all those things are in the works.
We might go to Tennessee, do a mountain trip, something like that too.
Yes, we have our dear friends live in Tennessee, and they always want us to come visit. So it says, I love the way you and Honey, that would be you, video your day trips. We'll be seeing more day trips.
That's up to you.
If he cooperates, we will do more of those. He's not a real big talker, if you guys haven't noticed. Okay. When annoyed with one another, who is most likely to apologize first?
Probably me.
Yeah, I would say that would be right. I have a very good way of pretending like you never existed in my world, and I just am very quiet. And I don't like to say things that I really don't mean out of anger, so I just get really quiet because I have a pretty, what would you say, nasty streak when I get angry.
Typical woman.
Stop it, that's not true. So he always wants to apologize and, you know, talk things out, and I'm like, just leave me alone, just leave me alone. How many times a day do you talk on the phone?
We're not big phone people. We do more texting.
Well, plus you're home all day.
Right, I'm home all day, and then we might talk once or twice while I'm at work during the day, but we'll text back and forth all kinds of messages and stuff.
Pictures and, you know, things like that.
Stuff we're doing or stuff that's interesting that we run across.
Yes, some of the things he sends me are wildly inappropriate. Do you work well together on projects?
Surprisingly, we do.
Why is that surprising?
Well, because most couples have a hard time, but
We are very well at reading each other, like the next thing, the next step, and we are very good at anticipating each other's needs. He's always in search of his tools, so I know what tool he's going to need next, and I find it. When we have parties, I usually do most of the family get-togethers, and he's very good at knowing when I'm getting stressed and when I need help, and so we just read each other very well. If you both had the same 10 questions about each other, who would get them all right?
Well, it depends on the questions, I think.
I actually think we would both get them all right because we've known each other for so long.
Since God was a boy.
Well, that goes right into how did we meet? Do you remember?
Well, we didn't really, it wasn't like an official meet. We went to school together and, of course, had seen each other in hallways and,
yes,
knew mutual friends. So we weren't like properly introduced at a party.
Yeah,
or
we
something.
were just kind of part of the group.
Yeah.
I think I was in the 7th grade. He may have been in the 8th grade, or I may have been in the 8th grade and him in the 9th grade. We were only a year apart in school. We did go to junior high together. He lived a house down from my very best friend in the whole world. And that's really how we got to know each other. And so we just knew each other from school.
The same circle of friends.
Right. And then I went to a different high school, and then we kind of reconnected. How did you pick out your children's names? Seeing as you named both of our children, how did you pick them out?
Well, our son obviously is named after me. And our daughter Maureen, I just happened to like that name. And
we wanted an Irish name because we're both Irish. We're Irish and German. And I wanted a nice Irish name. And I knew her middle name was going to be Elizabeth. After my mom's mom, her name was Dorothy Elizabeth. But he wasn't crazy about Dorothy. So she was supposed to be Delaney Elizabeth, and I got vetoed. And he picked Maureen, and I like that name, so that's what we went. If you had to pick one thing that you love about each other, what would it be? You get to go first.
One thing, if I had to pick one thing.
One thing.
Oh, I think I love
Don't say
everything.
my boobs.
Well, that's a given. No, I think it's more your strength. I don't like a woman who you have to hold her hand to cross the road or make every little decision. I like a woman that's able to make her own decisions and able to fight her own
As long as they're the decisions you want me to make. Right?
No.
Yes, I'm a pretty tough cookie. So my favorite thing about him is the way he lives his faith. He doesn't have to wear a cross. He doesn't have to come out and say, I'm a Christian and I do this. He lives his faith. And you can see that in his children and the way his son treats his girlfriend, the type of man my daughter married, the one she attracted because she had a good example of what a godly husband was supposed to be. And I would have to say that would be the thing I love most about you, is that you live a very godly life.
I'll try.
What is your favorite thing to do or place to go for date nights? We don't do date nights.
Yeah.
We really like to watch the shows we DVR'd. We do go out to eat, but every time we go, we're unhappy. He really would rather that I cook him something, and I prefer my own cooking as well. It's not as stressful. We just get along so well. We really like to be together. My mother calls our family the cartel because the four of us are really tight. So, we go out for coffee. We'll go to the bookstore. We're also very cheap, in case you haven't noticed. Frugal.
We're not big on big crowds either, so.
Yeah, we're not big on crowds.
Yeah.
So, but even when the kids were small, we would put the kids to bed and we would just have dinner together, watch a movie. So we're really boring people.
Not boring. We're easily entertained.
Easily entertained. Okay. What do you like most about the other person's personality? Which we kind of said.
Yeah, that kind of covers the same.
I'm very sarcastic, and I'm constantly having to apologize for things that I thought were funny, that were kind of mean, and my husband used to tell me, just because you say just kidding doesn't make it less hurtful. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. What annoys you the most? You go first. You know what annoys me the most.
What, my snoring?
No.
No,
you're...
Biting fingernails?
He bites his nails. And it's not so much the biting of the nails, it's the sound he makes when he bites his nails. I'm very sensitive to sounds, and it makes me batty. What's the thing?
know there's any. I mean,
stop
the
it.
only thing probably annoys me is the answering of questions when I'm talking to somebody else, or the constant, finishing sentences before I say it, or.
It's
I think
not the
that's
way I'm
about the
constantly
only-
telling you how to drive and which way to turn. And
Well, that I let go in one ear and out the other.
if God forbid something happened to the other person, what is your plan B?
Never really thought about it.
I don't have a plan B. My children ask me all the time, are we going to have to hide the guns if something happens to Dad? We go together like peas and carrots. And we don't really have a plan B.
Yeah.
I would not get remarried, I can tell you that right now.
No.
Because once you found your one true love, there's nothing else.
Yeah, I don't think either one of us will be able to find somebody that we get along with as well as we get along. It'd be extremely tough.
Yes.
Extremely tough.
And this is a comment from my daughter on the video. Dad looks thrilled. Can't wait to see the answers on the video. Mr. Man of Few Words. Okay, let's see. Why did you start a YouTube channel? What does your family think, and how long have you been making videos? Been making videos for about a year, right? Right before Playlist Live last year, I started making videos. And I started because my daughter had been making videos since she was about 15. About 15. And she really enjoyed it, and she was getting more involved, and she was getting married and doing all of that. And I figured, I really want to stay connected with her. So I started making videos so I would have a shared interest. And then I just really enjoyed it. I'm home a lot by myself because everyone's working. And I just get on videos, and I have automatic friends right there on YouTube.
And with all the projects we do, there's a lot of stuff that's able to be videoed.
Yeah. Like, I like to teach. I like to do how-to. I like having craft nights. I think craft and sewing is kind of a lost art, just like homemaking. Women don't want to be homemakers. And I think it's very important for the woman to be able to be home with her children. Bella's snoring again. I just think it's a lost art. So I like to share how fulfilled I am as a housewife, and then just different projects that I like doing around the house. All right, this is our last set of questions. How did we meet? Which we already talked about that. We were in junior high and met. Where did you go on your honeymoon? Oh, there's a story.
Our honeymoon was a wedding gift to the cabins in North Carolina, which
In-
was
in
nice.
November.
I mean, yes. We could have waited, but we decided to go then.
Yes.
And the weather wasn't actually that bad. That was,
No.
like a warm
It was
winter.
cool. Well,
Yeah,
but it was still
but it
cool.
wasn't terrible. But
I got the stomach flu
Yes.
on the way. And we were both underage. I was 18, he was 20. So we couldn't rent a car. So we borrowed his dad's huge van. And we had like our whole life in this van because, we were young. We had just gotten married. And of course, we locked the keys in the car. He put his fist through the window. I think Wednesday you got sick.
Well, I didn't put my fist through the window madly. It was
No,
the way
it
to
was
get back in was to
back
break a
in,
little vent window.
exactly.
So it was,
So he had a big gash in his hand. We were both horribly ill. I think we lived on oyster crackers for days. Thank goodness they put a fruit basket in our room because we couldn't go anywhere. We were so sick. And I always say the honeymoon was awful, but the marriage has been amazing.
yes.
I was 21. The question is, how old were you when you had your first child? I was 21 and you were 22. We're 18 months apart.
Yeah.
So I was 21 years old when I had my son.
I was almost 23.
Yes, almost 23. And how did your husband propose to you? Oh, come on, this is a good one. Do you remember?
We proposed in my mother's kitchen over an argument.
Yes.
I proposed, actually,
Yes.
over an argument. But, I was ready to propose, but I didn't have a plan for it, and it just came out that way. So.
Well, it was Christmas Eve when we got engaged. I was 17. I actually just turned 17. And we had actually picked out a ring, and he had put it on layaway, and we were making payments on this ring. And my grandfather gave me my grandmother's wedding rings. And I was very close with my grandmother's, my mom's mom. I called her Bubba. And for Christmas, that was my gift. And I really wanted to use my grandmother's ring. And of course, he wanted something that had come from him. So we were kind of bickering back and forth about what rings we were going to use. And in the middle of this discussion. He said, well, will you marry me? And of course I said yes, because we had kind of planned it.
Yeah, we kind of already knew what time frame, how long, about a year later or so.
Well, we had both promised our parents, because we were so young, that we wouldn't get married until we could buy a house. And we waited. It was 2 months after my 18th birthday. We signed a contract and we purchased a house. And our parents were very surprised that we saved all of our money. And so it was just very important to us.
It wasn't a big house, but it was a house.
So it was a nice starter house. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that is the story of our engagement. We've been married 25 years.
Yep. We
had a big wedding. It was very nice, big 80s wedding with the poofy dress and the whole 9 yards.
It was a huge party. Very successful.
Big party. And of course we were all underage and very bad. So I guess that's the answer to all of your questions. Do you have anything you want to add? Chatty Cathy?
Love.
So if you have more questions, feel free to add them and we can answer them again. I hope you enjoyed getting to know us a little bit better. We certainly enjoy all of your comments. I always read what everybody has written. So thank you. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.